I wanted to get into the race baiting first, and I meant to do this a few days ago. Now I'm going to have John Bound, who's a great researcher, do a video in the next few days, and I'm going to have Paul Watson, who's a great researcher, do an article, or any of my other writers who want to do it, do an article, because I know the history of it, but I want to get all the mainstream government documents, all the news articles, all the photos, all the videos, all the debates, and create. I may do a cover story next magazine on the Democratic Party, the party of the Ku Klux Klan. In fact, now notice I'm not just saying an article, I'm going to do a whole magazine on this to show how they tried to block the Civil Rights Act, the Voting Rights Act. They have the votes in there to show how they then openly said in letters, LBJ and others, we've got to flip because the Republicans have already had the minority supporting them since the Civil War. They're going to give these people all their rights, and the Republican Party is going to take over. So we got to flip our stuff and just say the minorities will give you everything. We'll give you free money and then break up their families and control them. And they did that. And they know that. And that's why Ed Schultz attacked us on MSNBC. I'm going to play this clip coming up. That's why other White House front groups came out and attacked us over the weekend. Media Matters, you name it. Because this is really getting close to where they're at. So they have to act like, ha, ha, ha. It's preposterous. They say fish swim in the ocean. They say drones are in the skies of America. They say the Affordable Care Act was written by offshore insurance companies. It's going to increase your prices and has death panels. I mean, it does, but, you know, these guys are all discredited. So that's all the stuff that's going on and unfolding. They are so scared of this that I just want them to know, hey, Schultzy, baby, we're going to do video reports every week the next few months, obnoxiously. We're going to get the congressional film footage. We're going to show the Grand Dragons and the Democratic senators. We're going to show everything. Margaret Sanger saying we got to take over, poses liberals to kill these black people. And I'm just going to bang the drum up one side and down the other and see how you like it. Continuing with this key historical breakdown that we're going to put in a special video report that's going to air here on the radio show Friday. And we're going to do special reports for the next 8 weeks, every week, on the Democratic Party and its history of hardcore racism, lynching, murders, and absolute total evil. Because you have to understand, folks, the Democratic Party was only a party in the Deep South after Reconstruction and the Civil War. Civil War Reconstruction. It was the Republicans that were the abolitionist party. That means abolishing slavery. And by the Civil Rights Act, the Voting Rights Act that the Republicans got through in the early 60s, the Democrats on record realized that we're going to only be a party of the South. It's over for us. We give out freebies to poor whites to vote for us. We've got to shift this now and still be over poor whites, but also minorities and have a great society. We'll get to break up their families, not let them have men in the house. We'll put them in prison, don't worry, but we'll make them think that they're our friends. That's the Rockefeller Foundation plan, by the way, of the 1920s, and Margaret Sanger on record. We're going to have all the quotes of and letters about going out and posing as liberals, hiring all the black ministers to then sell their people into slavery. And we're going to have all those quotes, all those letters. We're putting some on screen right now if you're a TV viewer of LBJ, saying, quote, these Negroes, they're getting pretty uppity these days, and that's a problem for us since they've got something now they never had before, the political pull to back up their uppityness. Now we've got to do something about this. We've got to give them a little something, just enough to quiet them down, not enough to make a difference. If we don't move all in, their allies will line up against us, and there'll be no way of stopping them, and we'll lose the filibuster, as Democrats said that then, and there'll be no way of putting a break on all sorts of wild legislation. It'll be Reconstruction all over again. So when Ed Schultz and Rachel Maddow get up there and go, the Republicans are the party of racism in the South, and that's all they're going to be is a regional party now as we bring in 30 million illegals to take over the country. They are actually doing what the Republican Party did in the 1860s, and we're doing again in 1960 with Eisenhower taking over. And so they shifted like a judo move and threw the Republicans right through the wall and took all the minorities, everybody, by doubling down on race politics, which they were the experts in. And that's why Ed Schultz and others are so scared of this. They all know this. That's why you tune in. It's race this, race that, race, 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 race. Because they're trying to make the Republicans what they always were. And when they got all the minorities saying, hell, we'll give you unlimited free welfare. The Republicans just want to give you freedom to be an American. We're going to give you free goods. So they doubled down, took over, and now they've completely sold everybody out. And now they're trying to fully extinct any opposition, libertarian, Republican, they don't care, to consolidate their control. And that's why they are so scared right now. Because if this fact comes out, it's over for them. It's over for them if everybody becomes a party of liberty and freedom. And that's why you vote, but not on your race. Then the establishment, including Republican leadership, have got a big problem. And when they made it racially based, and the Democrats did that, Republicans actually bought into it and did become kind of the party of white people. Because the Democrats have been the party of white people, the Republicans have been the party of the Republic. And everybody has equal rights, on record. But they got so judo moved by the Democrats and the freebies and everything that they went, okay, all we do have now is the white people. Okay, we'll kind of play along with that a little bit. Do you understand that? We're going to go out to break with Ed Schultz here and then come back and analyze it. But listen to how desperate he is right now.
And in Pretenders tonight, the outrageous Alex Jones and Tucker Carlson. Carlson and Jones say they've blown the hood off the Democrats' KKK movement. Part-time news host and 9/11 truther joined forces to bemoan the white man's persecution.
We all have been conditioned as Republicans or as libertarians or as white people to be, oh my gosh, we're loving, we're not racist. Yes, please, do whatever. I'm sorry, I'm white. Beat ourselves with whips on the head. And then meanwhile, the Democrats have just recreated the Ku Klux Klan movement, but they've done it with minorities.
Yeah, there's a lot of truth in that. I wish there weren't. The federal government takes sides and hands out spoils based on your skin color.
Really? Their contention is divided between racism and baseless comments. Americans of all colors receive government assistance. Jones and Carlson would love to race bait away the data if these two talkers believe a KKK caper is the winning strategy. They can keep on pretending.
We're going to come back and break it down. Stay with us. The globalist social engineers are not just targeting us with propaganda. They are manipulating our genetics. We are being targeted at every level by estrogen mimickers that lower our testosterone and other hormones and natural compounds that the body needs. After consulting top doctors, nutritionists, pharmacists, and others, we have developed what I believe is the ultimate non-GMO organic super male vitality formula sourced from powerful organic herbs and then concentrated for maximum potency. Super Male Vitality was developed to activate your body's own natural processes instead of using synthetic chemicals. Super Male Vitality by Infowars Life is so powerful that I only take half the recommended dose. For a limited time, we are offering 15% off Super Male Vitality at InfoWarsLife.com to introduce you to this powerful supplement. Visit InfoWarsLife.com today to secure your Super Male Vitality. InfoWarsLife.com. Let's just finish up with the race baiting. Channel MSNBC and the Democratic Party. And then we will produce the historical news reports, compiling all the historical facts to absolutely create the truthful weapon system to try to counter their history of unmitigated racial division and sectarian balkanization in this country. Now, when you look at the Ed Schultz news piece that we just played part of, everything he says is formulaic. The part-time news host, a guy that has a show on the weekend on Fox News that has more viewers than the top 3 MSNBC shows combined. And the guy who heads up a huge alternative real news site that has more viewers than MSNBC.com does. You can look it up. Daily Caller has more visitors. So do we, by many times. On Alexa.com and other metrics. He's just a part-time news host. And he teams up with a 9/11 truther. That's meant to say, hey, Tucker Carlson shouldn't be hanging around with this super hardcore liberal, Alex Jones. No, I question the official story of 9/11. I question arming al-Qaeda to attack Syria. I know they're letting these groups attack us bare minimum to take our liberties. And Tucker Carlson, in an upcoming interview we haven't aired yet, it'll air Friday, the in-studio interview, it's going to be a special production because I'm going to add clips to it, backing up everything I say. He said, no, they have used 9/11 to take our liberties and to enslave us. No one can deny it. That's what I'm saying. Don't let them use terror to take our liberties. Don't let them use the Gulf of Tonkin, back to LBJ, to get us in the Vietnam War. They let crises destroy our liberty, regardless of whether they're real, manufactured, provocateur, whether they opened the door, did the whole thing, regardless it was used. And so every time they attack me on MSNBC or Raw Story or Media Matters, they say 9/11 truther, as if that's something to demonize, and then they connect it to the Republican Party. When I'm not about the Republican Party, I'm about opposition. If the Republican Party was taking over and doing all this, I would support any opposition to it. I didn't like stuff Bush was doing and was a giant critic. The Democratic Party, though, is a nasty organization at the top. They have a lot of nice people in it. And folks that are Democrats because their granddaddy was a Democrat. And a lot of the biggest redneck, right-wing people I know, and quite frankly, some of the few racists I know, are Democrats, folks. Growing up and currently. They're the kind of guys that'll make little comments and stuff. The only people I've ever heard that are white that have made racial comments are Democrats. I can say that unequivocally. And that's well known to anybody that actually studies politics. And that is what is so frustrating about all this. Then they say, oh, you're racist, Republicans, if you don't let 30 million more illegals be legal and bring their families in, which signs our death warrant to the whole world, just come here. And then once you get here, you get free welfare, can have your babies for free. That's the incentive to come here and go with the Democrats and Republican leadership that's for it as well, because they work for the same globalist. I mean, that is suicide. Imagine if Mexico said, come here, everything's free. You would have hundreds of millions of people doing everything they could to buy a plane ticket to come to Mexico. Mexico has the most draconian immigration laws in our hemisphere. Well, in the Americas, to be technical. From all the way from Chile up to Alaska. Right through Canada, folks, no one has immigration laws as strong as Mexico. Look it up. It's on record. Immigration laws, guys, search. Mexico has toughest immigration laws in the Americas. It'll be a university paper, guaranteed. Mexico has the toughest, or New York Times headline, Mexico has shameful immigration pass as well, like America does when we're the most wide open country. This is political suicide, ladies and gentlemen. They're going to bring in an unlimited group of people to take our guns, you name it. But getting back to Tucker Carlson and the attack on he and I working together, just in a friendly way, him coming on air. They want to dictate who can go on whose show. Most of the time when MSNBC or Media Matters attacks, it's like, a Republican congressman come on Alex Jones's show. Oh, Ted Cruz came on. Oh, Rand Paul did. Oh, Ron Paul did. Don't talk to that kook. They don't want what they see, the radicalization of a hardcore liberal like myself and Thomas Jefferson vein, a real liberal, hardcore liberal, bleeding heart, on fire with wanting to animate humanity and liberate humanity and have maximum individual freedom, maximum diversity, maximum choice, maximum tolerance. But that means you don't tell me how to live either. Maximum don't put me in a box. I am a flaming liberal, folks. Flaming. Flaming. I love all the big liberal philosophers. You read them, they sound like hardcore libertarians or constitutionalists. That's because our founders were reading all of that, folks, in Latin. They were into all that. They were the flower of the Renaissance. We need to rediscover our birthright. It was never perfectly implemented, but to that point was the greatest idea ever that led to so many other forms of liberation. The problem is then it just gets co-opted when the whites stop using race politics to control things. And then the groups that said, oh, we just want equality, they start using it themselves because it's a good way to take over. If you're not actually free market and about free association, be about skin. Be about what religion you are. Be about what region you are. Be about your sexual preference, because then it doesn't have to be about what you're producing. What music, what literature, what art, what you built, the service you did, who you were. See, oh no, they want to be about race, or oh, I've got a handlebar mustache and tattoos and wear different color socks. Oh my gosh, the women all want me because I'm a trendy, and that's what you do to get women. You don't actually stand for something. You don't actually produce something. You didn't write beautiful literature. You didn't come up with great music. I don't care if you're black or white. I don't care if you're a great guitarist like, Jimmy Page versus Jimi Hendrix. I can admire them both, and they both speak to my soul. I'm not thinking about what color they are when I'm listening to their music. You see, this is the fundamentalness of gang government, clique government, mafia government, monopoly government, crony government, command and control government in society, gang government versus freedom government, which comes from the inside, as Martin Luther King said, the character of someone's deeds, what they stand for, what they produce. If somebody had the best restaurant in town and had the best dish that was your favorite, would you go there if it was owned by a black person if you were white? Oh, yeah, you'd go there. If you were black and some white person owned a restaurant that had food that was your favorite, would you go there? Yeah, you go there. Because what they got is good. What they got, you want. What they produce, what that tree... If a tree had dark green leaves or light green leaves, would you, if you were a light green leaf, would you still like the dark green tree if it produced great fruit? Of course you would. They don't want to make it about what you stand for and what you do and what you produce. They want to make it about what group you're part of. And look, I don't care if you got beards and handlebar mustaches and tattoos all over you and different color socks. I mean, hell, that's what gets you success. Why not? You've learned to go along with it. I don't care about your style. I think it's fine. Everybody's got their own style. I'm not knocking you. I'm not judging you. I know a lot of you are listeners. I'm saying that's a crew. That's a gang, folks. There's a gang that wears sports jackets and ties and submarine watches. And if you dress like that, suddenly the establishment listens to you. So I do it too. I put on the monkey outfit because it just makes people listen to what I have to say more. So I'm a big hypocrite. None of us are perfect, but we can aspire to a higher level and a better level is what I'm saying. You know, the big fad is dress up like you're Jay-Z, and you can go pick the women up because they've got a fantasy they're going to be with Jay-Z. And so even if you're not Jay-Z, but you go out and get a Audi and act like you're Jay-Z, you're going to get all this success because people are living a delusion. Now, it won't last long term because it's fake and it's transitory. You only get empty, dumb people. But that doesn't matter short term to you, does it? Because you're not looking for a long haul real success. You're looking for the image of success. The veneer, not the bona fide. But it will be bona fide. It will be real McCoy. It will be certified, grade A, real deal. That will satisfy you in your life, folks. Being real, being truthful, being honorable, not being a coward, the essence of being a man. The very essence of success. Being a woman, being beautiful, virtuous, true, strong, daring, creative. The essence of being a woman. The essence of your life on this planet. The essence of the great noble species that you're part of. The essence. And then you look at MSNBC. Total balkanization, total division, scare the Republicans off from Alex Jones. Oh my gosh, if his talking points ever get picked up by them, they will radicalize the population, take over, and we'll have a new 1776 on our hands, but this time nonviolent, cultural. I mean, they say that in government white papers that are public, we've covered on air. They say in the news, my God, the Republicans are passing laws off what Alex Jones talks about, and they trace them directly back to me and Drudge amplifying it. They go, Alex put it out, Drudge amplified it, it became law. They had hearings on this. And then what happens to your gun control push? Then what happens to your drones? Then what happens to your NSA? Because you know I'm telling the truth. You know I've got you with your pants down. You know I read all the history books. You know, Ed Schultz, you're a big, fat, degenerate, race-baiting scumbag. You punk. You're a big city politicker. I could just see what you talk about when you're drinking drinking that scotch with your buddies at the old Irish bar. Oh, I can hear it coming out of your mouth. Listen, punk, I know who you are. You probably have it on the news. His Irish bar. What are you against Irish? No. I'm saying I know where you go drinking, buddy. I'm part Irish. The point is, don't try your race baiter on that either. I know how you pea-brains operate. Because that's what works on the public is simple, dumbed-down propaganda. I was having a meeting last night with a top national psychologist, I'll just leave it at that, and some top lawyers. They were talking about that. They go, how do you tell the truth that's complex and the general masses can't interface with and fight people that just tell walls of simplified lies? And I just said, you got to show people the hat trick. You got to show them how the scam works. And if they ever get it once, they don't go back because now they know the trick with the rabbit. The rabbit's really in a secret door being put up through the floor into the container. And then they just open it up on the table he's in. And the hat has a trap door on it. And they reach down into the box and pull the rabbit up through the hat. Now, you can't explain that to a 2-year-old, but by the time they're 4 years old, you can explain to your son or daughter when you take them to a magic show, you see that box, that table, there's a hidden compartment with a rabbit in it that he loaded in there. And then he's going to show you the hat, fly it around, put it down on the table, reach down through, grab the rabbit, and then pull it up out of the hat. And then your 4-year-old sees it and gets it. That's the secret to this show, is that we're simply showing people the hat tricks and explaining how the games work and what happened historically. And that's the only way to beat tyrants. It's the only way to be aware of how things operate. It's the only way to change the paradigm, is to get outside the propaganda they put out and the fake rah-rah, Coke, Pepsi, Redskins, Cowboys, Ford, Chevy fake debate, and pull back outside the box and outside the arena and see the whole thing for what it is historically, the social engineering they're engaged in, and then you'll laugh at yourself for ever being part of it. And I know most of you as an audience understand this and fully get this. But I'm talking to new audiences out there that are tuning in that don't understand this. It's a fact the Democrats were the party of the Ku Klux Klan. It's a fact they were a party isolated only to the South. It's a fact they figured out that wasn't working in the 20s and started the Rockefeller Foundation trying to infiltrate and take over the minorities, but to get them domesticated on welfare to reduce their population. Then you expand out to the 50s and 60s. The Democrats openly say, we've got to become the party of the minorities and race bait from every direction because of demographics, because the Republicans are totally annihilating us because they're the party of Lincoln, and they're actually unifying the country. We can't have this. And I read you President LBJ saying that. It'll be Reconstruction all over again, and these blacks are going to get real freedom under Eisenhower. And people like my grandfather, who got out of World War II, later ran for office as a Republican in East Texas and supported desegregation. So you got to understand, folks, that's the type of things that go on in this country. And whether you're for segregation or not, I know a lot of you old Democrats, your Grand Dragons and stuff, you know, you're slick enough to go out and act like you care about the minorities, and you run their lives now, and it's pretty funny to you. I don't think it's funny living in a balkanized, dumbed-down country. I really want to try to empower everybody. But people like Schultz, you know exactly what they're doing. Whether he's down at the old German bar, down at the old Irish bar, making jokes about the minorities, I'm saying hypothetically as a joke, you know, I'm teasing, but just so many of the old Democrats are you know, their whole world is race baiting. They're experts on it. They come from the big cities where everybody lives in their own neighborhood and everything's racial politics. And they're just deploying that now on a larger scale. And they're arrogant. And they're pushing our buttons, and it needs to stop. And it's the same thing they did a few days ago in Raw Story, where they said Tucker Carlson and Alex Jones, Democratic Party, now KKK, but with minorities. In the short clip they played on Raw Story that they then played on Schultz, they edit out where I say they were the party of the Ku Klux Klan. Demographically, the president said that they had to shift to minorities because the Republicans were beating them. They cut all that out and just have me saying they're the KKK, which sounds outlandish. We're going to skip this network break, please. Which is outlandish to the average dumbed-down Democrat out there who doesn't even know that the Earth orbits the sun, literally, and who will sign petitions in Austin, Texas, or in California to put gun owners in FEMA camps and execute us. I mean, we have those man on the streets we've done and Mark Dice has done. That's how dumbed down and crazy these people are. On their welfare check, with their bag of marijuana, they watch TV all day and you know, eat sugared cereal all day. I don't care if they're black, white, Hispanic. They don't know what planet they're on. And they will pull the lever to take our guns and anything else as long as they get that welfare check. And that's the demographic change of the slug-like population out there. And that's the game over of the Cloward and Piven welfare domestication program. They don't care if it wrecks productivity and wrecks the country's future as long as they're in control. And they're doing an incredible job. And they're this close to winning. If there isn't an epiphany and a giant awakening to the hat trick and the scam that they're running, it's over, folks. You better pack it up and go to Switzerland. I wish there was some other quasi-free country out there. This is a serious situation, and I know you know that. But listen again to Ed Schultz with his tiny audience say that Tucker Carlson, that's all over the weekday shows with commentary to 3, 4, 5 million people, all over the weekend show with 2, 3 million viewers, huge website reaching millions of people a day, and he's a part-time nobody. And notice what they said in Raw Story. Tucker Carlson, Alex Jones, Democratic Party, now KKK, but with minorities. Fox host Tucker Carlson appear on right-wing conspiracy theorist radio show Friday. Wait a minute. They changed this. I want you guys to go into the stack of Sunday's news. It's over there, and pull me the printout. They took out of here where it said internet only. Oh, my gosh, because I ranted about this. I was listing stations from Austin to Knoxville, from Southern California to, you know, Chicago, from Rochester to Buffalo to Tampa, Florida to, I mean, you just name it, just over 160 stations. And they were saying I was internet only. It's always minimized. Lie, 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 lie. And I was just reading this, and they took it out because they just reprinted this for me. So the point is, this is what they do. So now Tucker Carlson, see, that lie didn't work. So Tucker Carlson, he's a part-time guy. He's a failure. You know, he went out and started his own website and is more successful than MSNBC and CNBC's website combined. He's a nobody. And Matt Drudge, by the way, whose site's, you know, 50 times bigger than the Daily Caller, he's not successful. He's only on the internet, okay? So if you did something completely on your own, you're even more unsuccessful than some failed guy from talk radio like Ed Schultz with tiny, just ridiculous audiences in failed network after failed network, lecturing us how we're nobody. See, it's all about projecting this reality that they're big and we're small, and they're liberal and we're fascist, and ha, 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 Democrats and Republicans, you know, being connected to political manipulations and race baiting. Both parties do it. Just the Democrats are the originals, acting like abolition wasn't the party of Lincoln, the Republicans, acting like the Republicans didn't pass the Civil Rights Act against the Democrats' wishes, acting like we don't have all these letters from Democratic operatives and presidents about trying to keep the N-words down, acting like they can only do this because the general public is ignorant. They're not dumb overall. They know all about football, all about acting cool, all about the latest movies, all about baseball cards, all about cosmetics, all about having mimosas with their girlfriends at Sunday brunch. Everybody knows about everything except how the world works. And that's a recipe to be a bunch of slaves. Let's go ahead and go to the Ed Schultz clip. Here it is.
And in Pretenders tonight, the outrageous Alex Jones and Tucker Carlson.
See, he's really the pretender.
Carlson and Jones say they've blown the hood off the Democrats' KKK movement. Part-time news host and 9/11 truther joined forces to bemoan the white man's persecution.
We all have been conditioned as Republicans or as libertarians or as white people to be, oh my gosh, we're loving, you know, we're not racist. Yes, please, you know, do whatever. I'm sorry, I'm white. And beat ourselves with whips on the head. And then meanwhile, the Democrats have just recreated the Ku Klux Klan movement, but they've done it with minorities.
Yeah, there's a lot of truth in that. I wish there weren't. The federal government takes sides and hands out spoils based on your skin color.
Really? Their contention is divided between racism and baseless comments. Americans of all colors receive government assistance. Jones and Carlson would love to race bait away the data if these two talkers believe a KKK caper is the winning strategy. They keep on pretending.
All right, folks, so there you go. And I was actually able to pull it up on the YouTube channel where I showed screenshots of it, the original article where they came out on Sunday and said that I was an internet-only radio show. And now Raw Story didn't retract that. They just took it out of there and said, I'm not internet-only. And again, the reason that's so funny is that it shows how delusional they are. It says Fox News host Tucker Carlson appeared on right-wing conspiracy enthusiast Alex Jones' internet-only radio show Friday. Now, there it is on screen from the video Sunday when I covered it on the TV show / radio show. Here it is today, just freshly printed. Fox News host Tucker Carlson appeared on right-wing conspiracy enthusiast Alex Jones' radio show Friday. And the reason that's such a big deal, folks, is Raw Story's probably written, let's not exaggerate, 200 news articles about me over the years. They've been forced to retract stuff officially before and apologize. And they know how big the show is. That's why they cover it for the White House in Media Matters on a weekly basis. And they know full well we're on all over the country, and they hate it. And they know full well we have over 1 million viewers and listeners per hour. That's a very conservative number. We're actually able to find it from Sunday, printed off. Here it is, internet only. And they have now changed it to saying radio talk show host. See, this just, here it is. This just absolutely illustrates the total Decepticon level of these people. There you go. Right-wing conspiracy theorist Alex Jones, internet only. Now, notice it's been memory hold. They didn't tell you they corrected it. They just changed it to say Alex Jones's radio show. Radio show. Look. Internet-only radio show. Watch it again. Radio show. Internet-only radio show. And, folks, he's counting on you being dumb. He's up there going, ha, the Democrats connected to the Klan, ha, 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 buying off the new immigrant people to control things. How ridiculous. Oh, and next he's going to say birds nest in trees. Next he's going to say that Ronald McDonald's a clown. Next he's going to say I'm a clown, Ed Schultz. This is the type of stuff that we're dealing with, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm sick of it. You people are the party of the Klan. You're total race baiters. It's all you do. You're disgusting. You're ruining the country with the Republican leadership. And I'm tired of you. We're going to start the next hour. Get into the stock market, Ukraine news, your phone calls. Got a guest popping in for 10 minutes. He's been victorious against the NSA and more. Briefly, if you want to fund us, because we're not funded like MSNBC with stimulus money or NPR with 400, 500 mil, taxpayer money and Rockefeller Foundation money, tax-exempt money. We're funded by high-quality water filters, ProPure, Pro One system, best price out there, promo code WATER, 10% off, InfoWarsStore.com. We're funded by the Made in America Molon Labe men and women shirts that I believe are the best-looking Molon Labe Come and Take It shirts ever. You can see Leanne McAdoo up there on the site modeling that in the women's shirt with the gold foil look. It is gold foil, Made in America. The best women's gun shirt ever. InfoWarsStore.com. Find the Made in America area at MadeIn1776.com. That'll lead you there. You can find the InfoWarsLife.com, nascent iodine, survival shield, fluoride shield, super male vitality, still 15% off. I'm deciding to extend that out, maybe even a few more weeks. You've got the Navy SEAL-made bottle breachers, the George Washington belt buckles, and other pro-liberty information at InfoWarsStore.com.
You are watching the best of the Alex Jones Show, weekdays from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Central. Watch live at Infowars.com/show or become a member of InfoWarsNews.com and help us take resistance to the next level.